Solutions to the puzzle.
Okay, so there are a few ways to solve this puzzle, and in this video I'm going to slowly walk through the solutions and explain some of the important issues. First, I want to mention that the Truth Machines puzzle is structurally the same as the so-called hardest logic puzzle ever. That version of the puzzle involves three gods, one who tells the truth, one who lies, and one who randomly answers yes or no. The gods also only respond to yes-no questions, and they respond in their divine language with either da or ya. One means yes, and one means no, but we don't know which. These puzzles are advanced versions of Smullyan's Knights and Knaves puzzles, or the two guards, two doors puzzle, such as the one that occurs in the movie Labyrinth.
Changing? What am I supposed to do?
Well, the only way out of here is to try one of these doors.
One of them leads to the castle at the center of the labyrinth, and the other one leads to certain death. Ooh.
Which one is which?
We can't tell you.
Why not?
We don't know.
But they do.
Oh, then I'll ask them.
No, you can't ask us. You can only ask one of us. It's in the rules. And I should warn you that one of us always tells the truth and one of us always lies. That's a rule too. He always lies.
I do not. I tell the truth.
Oh, what a lie. Oh.
He's the liar.
All right. Answer yes or no. Would he tell me that this door leads to the castle?
What do you think? Really, I don't know. Yes?
Then the other door leads to the castle and this door leads to certain death.
Oh. How do you know? He could be telling the truth.
But then you wouldn't be. So if you told me that he said yes, I know the answer is no.
But I could be telling the truth.
But then he would be lying. So if you told me that he said yes, I know the answer would still be no.
Wait a minute. Is that right? I don't know. I've never understood it.
No, it's right. I figured it out. I can never do it before. I think I'm getting smarter. It's a piece of cake.
Recall that our puzzle involves three machines. One made in the UK, who indicates true with a green light and false with a red light. One made in Australia, who indicates true with a red light and false with a green light. And one that is broken. It randomly flashes either red or green when any statement is input. Now we've lost track of which ones are which, and our task is to figure out which ones are which by inputting statements into the machines. This task can be easily completed with 4 inputs, and with some ingenuity we can get it down to 3 inputs. And we can even get it down to 2 inputs, but I'll get to all these complications in a moment. First, consider the 4-input solution. Let's input into each machine the statement 2 + 2 = 4. We know that the UK and the Aussie machines will flash opposite colors, and that the broken one will either be the same as the UK machine or the same as the Australian machine. So no matter what, 2 machines will flash the same color, and one will flash a different color. For example, in this case, 2 machines are green and one is red. We know that the UK machine has to flash green, and that the Aussie machine has to flash red. So we know the red one is the Aussie machine, and the green ones are the broken one and the UK one in some order. So after these 3 inputs, we will have found a working truth machine. And with a working truth machine, we can easily determine which of the remaining 2 is the broken one. In this case, we can just put the statement A is broken into B. And so after 4 inputs, we will have completed the task. But we wanted to complete the task using the minimum number of inputs. And really we want to solve it with at most 3 inputs. If you haven't tried to do this, this may be a good time to pause the video and give it a go. Okay, let's do it with 3 inputs. To make the explanation easier, assume for the moment that there are no Australian machines. So in front of us we have 2 working UK machines and 1 broken machine. We'll add back in the extra complexity shortly. So let's approach machine B and input the statement A is broken. B either flashes green or red. Assume it flashes green. It's either a broken machine and flashing a green light at random, or is working. If B is working, then the green light indicates that A is broken, in which case C is not broken. If instead B is the broken one, well then it'd still follow that C is not broken. So either way, if B flashes green, we know that C is working. Okay, now assume instead that B flashes red. Again, it's either a broken machine and flashing a red light at random, or is working. If B is working, then the red light indicates that A is not broken. If instead B is broken, well then A is not broken. So either way, if B flashes red, A is working. So summing up, if B flashes green, C is working, and if B flashes red, A is working. Thus, after inputting this one statement into B, we will have found a machine of which we are certain that it is working. And it should be easy from here, since we now have a working truth machine. But of course, all of that reasoning has been carried out under the simplifying assumption that there isn't an Australian machine in the mix, and thus that green means true and red means false. Once we lift that simplifying assumption, it's not so easy. But there's a well-known trick, such as the trick Sarah used in the labyrinth clip.
Would he tell me that this door leads to the castle?
This trick transforms liars into truth tellers while preserving the honesty of truth tellers. That is, we can take advantage of the fact that even liars are sensitive to the truth of a statement. It's just that they track the truth values in the opposite way from truth tellers. David Lewis once stated that liars are as truthful in their own way as we are in ours, but they're truthful in liarese. And liarese is a language like ours, but with all the truth values reversed. So conversely, instead of understanding the Australian machines as truth machines, which have their lights inverted, we could equally well think of them as lying machines, which don't have their lights inverted. Now, no matter how we think of it, we can get around this UK-Australian complication. Consider inputting the following statement into an Australian machine. You flash green when input 2 plus 2 is 4. We know that if we were to input the true statement 2 plus 2 is 4, the Australian machine would flash red. So when input the complex statement about how it would respond to being input 2 plus 2 is 4, it will flash green, indicating no, it wouldn't flash green when input 2 plus 2 is 4. But notice that a UK machine will also flash green when given the complex statement. The principle in the background is that a double negative makes a positive, and a double positive remains positive. The upshot is this: whether you address a UK machine or an Australian machine, inputting statements to the effect that they flash green on statement S counteracts the fact that the UK and Australian lights are inverted. Call this the embedded statement lemma. For any statement S, if the statement "this machine flashes green on input S" is input into a working UK machine or a working Australian machine, the machine will flash a green light if S is true, and it will flash a red light if S is false. This is a very useful device if you ever find yourself lost on Smulyan's island of knights and knaves. With the use of this device, it no longer matters that the UK and Australian machines use opposite light conventions for indicating truth and falsity. It only matters that one of them means true and one of them means false. So now that we can overcome the UK-Australian language barrier, we can return to the problem without the previous simplifying assumption that there were no Australian machines in the mix. So instead of inputting A is broken into B, we input "this machine flashes green on the input A is broken." Now the disjunctive reasoning outlined before is the same. So after this first step, we then know that a certain machine is not broken, and we will only input statements into that working truth machine. Of course, we still don't know whether it's a UK machine or an Australian machine, so we will again input embedded statements. This will get us the solution with 3 inputs. I'll leave this to you to verify. A natural thought that many people have when confronted with this puzzle is this: Are there statements for which the machines can't provide an answer? And if so, does that hold the key to a solution? This is made especially salient, perhaps, when you start to wonder about how a truth machine would answer questions about the random future behavior of a broken machine. But even if we think the machines can handle statements about the broken machine's random behavior, then there's another limitation. And this one seems insurmountable. For example, imagine inputting the following into the UK truth machine. You flash red on this input. What happens? Well, it can't flash green on the input, since that would indicate that it's true that it flashes red on the input. But it also can't flash red on the input, since that would indicate that it's false that it flashes red on the input. So truth machines are necessarily limited in this way. There's a theorem in the background here, which is known as Tarski's theorem. But we've hit upon the liar paradox, the statement that says of itself that it's false. Our machine can't flash green and can't flash red. Instead, it starts beeping and smoking. And this, of course, is how the broken machine was broken. Philosophers asking it unanswerable questions. But what this means is that there are not two, but three possible reactions that a truth machine might have given an input: green, red, or smoke. If so, then three possibilities can be distinguished with one input. Thus, using these sorts of tricky inputs allows for a two-input solution to the puzzle. So that's the real challenge. Solve the problem with two inputs. Or wait, can we even get it down to one?